Well, joining us now to discuss Matt Gaetz and so much more is Tomi Lahren, host of OutKick's Tomi Lahren is Fearless. Now, Matt Gaetz is pulled out as Donald Trump's pick to be the next U.S. Attorney General. Trump posted on Truth Social saying, "I greatly appreciate the recent efforts of Matt Gaetz in seeking approval to be Attorney General. He was doing very well, but at the same time did not want to be a distraction for the administration, for which he has much respect." Now, he was facing release of a potentially damaging House Ethics Committee report, but more to the point, I think there was at least 4 Republican senators who were not going to vote for him under any circumstances, meaning he wasn't going to get through. Tomi, what's your take on this?
Well, I'll tell you this. I think this was very strategic. I think both the nomination and the withdrawal of Matt Gaetz were very strategic. And in my opinion, it was the perfect move. Really, the art of the deal here, if you're talking about 4D chess. And I'll tell you why. Because Matt Gaetz is obviously the most controversial person that could be nominated for this station. We know that. There's few folks that Trump could have nominated that would be more controversial, that would have more liberal talking heads and Democrats wailing than Matt Gaetz, right? So if you select someone first that's very controversial, that takes a lot of heat, then when that person withdraws and then you select your second choice and that person may also be somewhat controversial, it's always going to pale in comparison to your first choice, which was Matt Gaetz.
You're right. I think he was a bit of a clay pigeon thrown up there to direct fire away from some of the other nominees that are going through here. Another one I want to talk about, though, Trump has named his transition co-chair, Linda McMahon, as his pick to serve as the next Secretary of the Department of Education, a department which he has vowed correctly, in my view, to abolish because I think it's useless and makes kids stupider. McMahon, though, of course, we know is co-founder and former CEO of WWE Wrestling with an impressive business career, but also, look at this, she's not afraid to get in the ring either.
But, Mom,
come on.
just remember, like you told me when I was a little girl, this is gonna hurt me a lot worse than it hurts you.
Get her!
Now, imagine her in the confirmation hearings pulling that sort of stunt. But seriously, though, what do you make of Linda McMahon as a pick to take over and ultimately devolve and tear apart this Department of Education bureaucracy, which just sits on top of all the schools that the states run and seems to make them all worse?
Well, listen, I think that she is a brilliant, badass woman. And honestly, I think those clips of her on WWE make me like her even more. She is not only a strong businesswoman, but she's just a strong woman in general. And it's going to take that kind of intestinal fortitude to do what Donald Trump wants to do. And that's to really root out the Department of Education, or at least reform it greatly, and send a lot of that power and a lot of that money back to the states where these educational decisions belong, at the state and the local level, with educators and with folks that know their students and know their communities best. So I think she's been around the Trump team for a long time. This isn't her first opportunity with that team, but I think this is an excellent choice. I can't wait to see what she's going to do. And listen, Donald Trump has so many fierce and strong women that are serving alongside him in his cabinet in very high positions. Susie Wiles is another one. So for all those folks that said Donald Trump was a misogynist and he was a sexist, well, that's pretty incredible. He has so many strong and powerful women that are leading him through this next administration.